Welcome back to How to Stick the Retirement Landing, the operating manual for men over 45. Also, thank you for tuning in on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. My name is Joel Davis, and in this fourth episode entitled How the 5 F's and 3 P's Evolve Over Time, we will spell out in detail what the priorities have been for you 1.0, you 2.0, and how they need to change to successfully make the transition to you 3.0. But before we do, let's do a quick review of some of these terms. In the U 3.0 Lifestyle Operating System Guide, we talk about the evolution from U 1.0, which is basically the age 0 to 25, to U 2.0, which is basically age 26 to 45, and then U 3.0 is 46 years old plus. We talk about the 3 P's, personally, professionally, and purposefully, and how you need to be mindful of these evolving and changing over the course of your life. We also look at your life from 5 different dimensions. We call these the 5 F's: faith, family, fitness, finances, and fulfillment. For illustrative purposes only, let me show you how these things evolve over time. The table that I'm about to cover is on page 14 in the operating manual, and it is based on my own experience in coaching over 100 people over multiple decades. Now, this is only a framework to help you think about where you are in your life and what you may need to change. I'm going to rate the level of each one of those 3 P's and 5 F's in terms of what people usually tell me is the level of importance and focus on in their life. For example, high, medium, low, or non-existence at that time in their life. Again, it's not perfect. Please look at page 14 in the operating manual, but let me start off at a high level. You'll see the first column shows the item that we're going to cover. The second column is U 1.0. The third column is U 2.0. The fourth column is retirement that's now in sight. Maybe you're around 45 now and you're starting to think about it. And then U 3.0 is when you're in a retirement and you're really making an intentional shift. In terms of the items that we review, on the left-hand column, there's daily operating system, personal growth, professional growth, purposeful growth. Those are the 3 P's. And then the 5 F's: faith, family, fitness, finances, and fulfillment. So let me walk through the table. So from a daily operating perspective, in U 1.0, when you were first growing up, your operating system was really driven by school. And then in U 2.0, when you got into the workforce, it was really driven by work. So what happens is you have a highly structured daily operating system for the first 45, 50 years of your life. But as you prepare for and enter retirement, that daily operating system structure goes away. So you'll need to replace the daily operating system that you used to know from school and then work with something entirely different. And a lot of people fail to make that transition. From a personal growth perspective, in U 1.0, it's all about that. It's very high because you're going to school and you're learning. Then you get into U 2.0 and you're going into work every day, and the personal growth might slide down a little bit. And whatever growth you do is tied to work, which we'll get into in a moment. But when you get into retirement or thinking and preparing for retirement, personal growth becomes very important again. So it went from high in the beginning to low in the middle and it's coming back up to high. Now, professional growth in U 1.0, there really wasn't any because you were still going to school. But professional growth became incredibly high during U 2.0 because that's time frame at work. But guess what? Professional growth completely disappears or primarily disappears when you move into retirement in U 3.0. That's one of the big changes. So professional growth starts off low in U 1.0, goes to high in U 2.0, and completely disappears in U 3.0. And you'll need to replace that with personal growth or the next category, which is purposeful growth. Now, purposeful growth in your U 1.0 time period is pretty much non-existent. You're just trying to get through school. Then you get into U 2.0 and it's work and it's family and it's buy home and all those things. So your purpose-driven life really is tied at this point in time to finances, money, career, those kinds of things. It's not really true purpose-filled. But then when work goes away, guess what? Purposeful growth becomes high again on the priority list. So you can see how the daily operating system, personal, professional, purposeful growth all changes, going from high to low to medium back to high over the course of your life. The same evolution also happens in the 5 F's. So faith, maybe in the U 1.0 years, this could be medium to high because your family is raised that way. Then you get into work and raising a family and all those other things, faith often dips. But then when work goes away, faith pops up again as a top priority. Family, obviously in the beginning, you're with your family, so it's medium to high priority. And then you're in U 2.0 and you're building your own family, so it's obviously medium to high as well. You're struggling with balancing work and family. So that's always an internal conflict. But then when work goes away, you've got more time for family, just like you have more time for faith. So again, it's interesting to watch how they get important, then they dip, then they come back to importance. Now fitness, U 1.0 is probably pretty good because you're going to school, you're working out, you're doing all these things. And fitness is usually one of the big things that suffers during your professional career. But you'll find very quickly as you get older, 45, 50 plus, fitness needs to become very, very important. Finances, U 1.0, they're pretty important, but I'd say medium level because you're getting some help from the parents and whatnot. But obviously when you're in your career, that's tied to your professional growth. And it's all about making the money and trying to provide for your family and paying the bills and those kinds of things. And then when you enter retirement, money is still important, but it's going to have a different perspective in your life and different importance in your life because you made the money now and it's no longer struggling to pay the bills. Lastly is fulfillment. In U 1.0, it's pretty non-existent. In U 2.0, you think about it, but you're too busy with just trying to survive. But boy, does it come right back up to the top of the priority level when you start to think about entering and preparing for retirement. Because leading a purpose and fulfillment-driven life in retirement is what you're going to need to do to replace all that time and energy and focus on your professional growth that you did building your career. So check out the table on page 14. This table is not representative of everyone, or possibly even you, but it is an example of how these key areas of your life can evolve over time. Every person is on their own journey. Now, things that could impact that journey that I can't cover are things like mental health challenges, life or death physical health challenges, childhood abuse or trauma, addictions, bankruptcy, and or not having any money saved for retirement, thereby forcing you to continue to work, just to name a few. And as mentioned in the first episode, this framework, this entire series, makes the assumption you've saved properly for retirement, and you're not going to have to work unless you want to survive. Now, moving from U 2.0 to U 3.0 is a difficult transition, as the table just showed you. To jumpstart this process and provide some guidance along the way, here are some harsh truths that I have learned and validated with many, many other people in my life. You may want to buckle up for these because these are things that typically no one tells you. These truths should enable you to make that transition from work is my identity and self-esteem to your new purpose and fulfillment-driven role based on what truly matters in life: love, people, relationships, experiences, and fulfillment. So here we go. Number 1, at the end of your life, you will not be saying, I wish that I'd spent more time at work. This is not new content for me. You've heard this before, but I wanted to lead off with that. Number 2, while work can and should be enjoyable, fun, and fulfilling, it is still, at the end of the day, or your professional life, most often a bridge to financial freedom. 3, while you may be the founder, the CEO, or an up-and-coming high-potential executive with lots of room to grow, when your life is measured, none of that will matter. You heard me correctly. None of that will matter. 4, when you retire, you will be shocked at how fast you are forgotten and replaced at work. Out of the 50 or so work relationships or situationships that you mistook as true friendship, only about 3 or 4 people will remain actively involved in your life. And you will probably have to be the instigator of those relationships if you truly want even those to happen at all. 5, what's even more demoralizing is that this will happen with people that you made a huge difference with in their lives. Perhaps you saw beyond their resume, gave them a chance and hired them. Or you gave them life-changing promotions and money. Or you provided executive-style coaching and invested in them, helping them in their personal and professional lives. They may have even said things like, you transformed my life. You saved my life. You were the first to believe in me. I'm here because of you. And still, when you retire, you may never hear from them again. This is not only my story. This is what every leader will tell you. If this is resonating with you, please download the free guide at our YouTube channel. Subscribe, check out the other videos and podcasts, and please ask me anything in the community section or via email, joeldavisu3.0@gmail.com. I'll see you in the next episode, episode 5, of How to Stick the Retirement Landing While Avoiding Traps, Lies, and Deceptions. One team, one goal. Let's do this together.